Hello, welcome. My name is Donna. This is Yoga for You with Donna. And today we're going to be doing another chair yoga class. So the only props you'll need today is your chair. So find a chair, not one that's on wheels unless you want life to get really exciting really quick. Otherwise, find a chair that works. If you're on a smooth floor, I'm on a hardwood floor, or if you're on a tile floor, something where the chair might slip a bit on you, you might want to look into getting a yoga mat. You can get a cheap one to place underneath your chair so that you feel really secure and stable within your practice. Okay, so we're going to come to our chair, and we're going to start sitting all the way back on the chair so that we can root the feet down. Use the back of the chair for support. I'm going to turn the lights down just a little bit. There we go. So in today's practice, our main goal is going to be of axial extension. And axial extension is to lengthen the spine along its axis to create space between the vertebrae and to help counteract the effects of gravity on our body, all right? So we want to, and we hear a lot as we age that we get shorter, our vertebrae starts to compress. So we want to try our very best to counteract that. So as we come to our seat, root your feet down. If your feet do not touch the floor comfortably, then I invite you to try to find, have a yoga block or maybe a stack of books or a tall book that you can root your feet down into. My chair, this folding chair is relatively shorter to the ground so I can get my feet on the floor. I'm going to wiggle my sits bones back so I'm comfortably back into the chair. Sitting up nice and tall. Relax your hands. Relax the shoulders down away from the ears. And then start to feel as if you're creating length in your own spine by reaching up through the crown of the head. I invite you to close your eyes here. Just softly let the eyes drift closed. And take a moment just to be present. Socrates said, if you would seek help, first look to the spine. So with our eyes closed and our awareness, our attention turned inwards here, just kind of take a scan, a view of your own spine. First, let's just kind of scan the entire length of the spine, from the tailbone all the way up, past the cervical spine, which is the neck, all the way up to the crown of the head. And just notice if you can create any more length in your spine. And then let's just notice our spine, the different areas of the spine. Notice down the tailbone, the sacrum, and then up into the lumbar spine, the lower back. And just notice your own curvature in your lumbar spine. Notice where the spine gently arches away from the chair in towards the body. And then follow the spine up to the thoracic spine or the mid-spine where it begins to curve back towards the chair. You can feel it on supporting your back here. And follow that all the way up into the back of the neck, the cervical spine. Just notice the natural curve there as it joins into the occipital bone and into the skull itself. Be aware if your tendency is to drop your head forward. Draw the back of your skull back towards the wall behind you. Not going to any extreme, but feel your skull align over the axis of the spine, or align as it's sitting right over the spine. For many of us, we can stack our ears over our shoulders. Stack your shoulders over your hips. And maintaining this length in our spine, let's just start to observe our breath as it flows in and out of the body. If possible, breathing in and out through the nostrils. Just listening to yourself breathe. And bring your awareness to your front body and just notice what area of the body seems to be moving the most with each breath. And if it's your chest, just basically rising and falling, let's see if we can drop the breath a little lower to that diaphragmatic breath. As we inhale, feel the lower abdomen gently expand, the ribs. The chest gets a subtle lift. We exhale, the chest releases, the ribs contract, the abdomen draws in. Again, breathing in and out. I always like to think of the rib cage, the torso, a little bit like an accordion, maybe not to that extent, but as you inhale, the accordion widens, expands, and as you exhale, it draws in. Let's take one more round of breath here. And with your next exhalation, allow the eyes to open. And we're going to move forward here. So I'm no longer using the back of my chair to support the length of my spine. I'm going to look down at my feet and do the best I can to align them forward. So my toes are neither rolling out nor are they rolling in. But I'm going to align all 10 toes forward, see if I can align my knees right over my ankles. Now come back to that long spine. So what oftentimes happens here when we no longer using support in our back, and I'm going to turn sideways here, is that in an effort to keep a erect spine or lengthened spine, we thrust those ribs forward, and then that overarches the lower back. This as well can cause some problems. So we're going to draw these front ribs in. Lower belly draws in, and see if you can find this lengthening through the spine without that feeling that you're thrusting your front ribs forward or overarching into the lower back. So we're going to draw in, and then the sternum, I've talked about this before in other classes, the sternum, the center of your chest, lifts up away from the navel. So we're drawing our ribs and abdomen in, and then we're going to lift the sternum away from the navel so we sit up really nice and tall. Release your hands down by your side. We're going to do a few rounds of something called Yoga Drew. If you have shoulder issues, do as much range of motion that you're comfortable with. I'm going to turn my palms up towards the ceiling. Inhale up. Turn your palms down towards the floor. Turn your palms down towards the floor. Exhale down. We're going to do this a few times. Breathing in, we expand. Exhale, we contract back in towards the body. Breathe in. Breathe out. 3 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Make sure that you're maintaining the erect spine. Inhale up. And exhale down. Now this time we're going to do the same thing, but the arms are going to come forward. So inhale the arms forward and up. And exhale the arms down by your side. A couple more times. Breathe in. And out. 3 more. Breathe in. And out. 2 more. Last one. Now just take the opportunity to roll those shoulders a few times. It's not unusual that the shoulders might start burning just with that use. As long as there's no pain, you know, that will go, the burning sensation will go away relatively quickly once we stop that movement. Take your right arm and reach it up towards the ceiling and then stretch up a little more and then bring it down. Left arm, reach it up and bring it down. We're going to do this a few times. We're going to stretch up and back down, stretch up and down. Keep moving. Now, if this amount of movement is too much for you, then back it off and do the amount of movement that will work for you today. One more time on each side. Now this time, we're going to reach that right arm up. I'm going to hold on to my chair with my left hand so I feel very stable. Inhale here and exhale into a side bend or a lateral flexion of the spine. Come right back up, breathe in, exhale. Inhale up, exhale. One more time, breathe in and exhale. Inhale up and exhale, release that right hand down. Inhale that left arm up, hold on to the chair with your right hand, exhale, side bend. Breathe in, exhale, side bend. Two more, inhale up, exhale, side bend. Inhale up and exhale, side bend. Now come back up and release that arm. Again, roll those shoulders a few times. We're going to go into cactus arms or goddess arms. They're known in yoga. Inhale your arms up to the ceiling with your palms facing one another. Relax the tops of your shoulders down away from the ears. Now turn your palms forward towards the screen. Start to bend your elbows and see if you can stop when your elbows are aligned in a parallel line with your shoulders. If this bothers the shoulders, you can always bring your elbows down further towards the body. Spread your fingers. Now try and move your elbows forward slightly and try and move the palms of your hands and wrists back slightly. You're probably going to feel this across the front of the shoulders, those front deltoids. Hold here. Now think of that erect spine. So we're lengthening through the axis of the spine. Check in with those bottom front ribs that you're not thrusting them forward. So pull them in. That's going to help engage the abdominals, those transversus abdominis muscles. From here, inhale, open a little more if you can. Exhale, bring your elbows together, close like elevator doors. Inhale, open. Exhale, close. Breathe in and out. Two more. Breathe in and out. Last one. Open those elbows. Exhale, close the elbows. Now inhale, open the elbows. Pause here. Your shoulders might be crying out a little bit. That's okay. Squeeze back a little more into the space between the shoulder blades. There's some big muscles there. Feel those muscles in the upper back work. Now straighten those arms, turn your palms down and lower those arms and roll those shoulders a few times. You might be, and I'm hoping you are, feeling a lot of work here in the upper back between the shoulder blades. So oftentimes our posture is compromised. When we start sagging forward a little, the back muscles get overstretched and weak. The pec muscles become over tight. So they just exacerbate this slouching or poor posture. So we want to work those, stretch the muscles across the chest and strengthen the muscles in the upper back. Pause here for a moment. Reach your fingertips down to the floor, then take your arms straight out with your palms facing down. Relax the tops of the shoulders away from the ears. Spread your fingers, and let's press down for 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Check in. Are you still lengthened through your spine? Are your front ribs still drawing in? Turn your palms forward. Press forward. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Turn your palms up towards the ceiling. Check your posture again. Press up. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. We're almost done. Turn your palms to face the wall behind you. Press back. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Turn your palms up. Pause. And release them down. Roll those shoulders. So that helps to strengthen the shoulders, the arms, but we're also using those muscles in the upper back. So release that out. Now place your hands on your knees. And this is important. The term I'm going to use is hinging. And when I use that term in any of the classes I teach, what I'm referring to is that we're hinging from the hip creases. So the pelvis is tilting forward. We hinge forward without rounding. So I'm going to turn to the side for just a moment. This is what a hinge is not. This rounding as I press into that lower back rounding forward. That is not a hinge. So find your erect spine. We go from the hip creases and we hinge forward. So you can see that I've maintained the length and the natural curvature in my spine. And that's what we're going to do a few times. We're going to practice hinging. Now, if you can't hinge as far forward as I can without compromising that erect spine, then don't go as far. Shoulders relax. Inhale, we lift the sternum. As we exhale, belly draws in. I deepen my hip creases and I hinge forward. My gaze drops down towards my big toes. And now I hinge back up with the long spine. We're going to do that a few times. Hinge forward, look down, and hinge back up. Now hinge forward, look down. Now if you are looking forward, like say to the screen, you're going to notice you're shortening the cervical spine. You're compressing a bit. So keep the spine long. Hinge back up. Let's do this 3 more times. Hinge forward and up. Maybe you can take it further. Hinge forward and up. This is the last time and we're going to hold it there. So we're going to hinge forward. We're not holding our breath. We continue to breathe. If you have the flexibility, you can slide your hands down towards your ankles. Breathe here. Shoulders stay back and relaxed. Belly continues to draw in. Don't spill your guts here. Slide your hands up to your knees and hinge your way back up. Nice. So you might feel this along either side of your spine. There's a lot of muscles there. The multifidus muscles are there. And we're using that to strengthen those muscles because we need that strength to maintain erect posture. So sitting up nice and tall, again, we keep checking back in. We're going to take that right foot forward. I'm flexing the foot, heel on the ground, toes pointing up. Drop your hands down by your side. And as the right leg lifts, the left arm is going to rise. It doesn't have to come as high as mine. And it's going to lower. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. 2 more. Last one. And bring it in. By moving opposites, this helps to work with the brain. It's really good for neuroplasticity. Take that left foot out, flex the foot, hands drop down, left leg lifts, right arm. 1, 2, doesn't matter how high it lifts. 3, keep the foot flexed. 4, and 1 more for 5. Now slide it back in. Go back to the first side. Take that right foot forward. Keep it flexed. Now both arms are going to lift. So now we're going to have to really rely on a lot of core work. Zip up your snug jeans, and here we go. Lift and lower. If this feels too much and you feel unstable on the chair, go back to one hand. 2 more. And come back. Check in. When the leg lifts, are you losing that connection to the axial extension? So long spine, left foot forward, flex the foot, both arms. Here we go. Lift and lower. 3, 4, last one, and 5. And bring it back in. Now, all right, here we go. We're going to take that right foot forward. Both arms are going to come up and just follow me. Here we go. Lift and lower. Lift and lower. One more time like this. Lift and lower. Now lift up. Hug that right knee into the chest. Now check in. I'm going to flip to the side for a moment. That you're not rounding here. So it's a lift from the chest. If the center of your chest has just collapsed in the direction of your navel, you have rounded into the lower back. So lift the center of the chest away from the navel. It'll lift and lengthen through that lower back. Now interlace your hands behind that right thigh if you can reach it. And press out and back. So straighten the leg, bend. And it doesn't have to straighten all the way. One more. And then bring it in and set it down. Second side, left foot comes out, it flexes. We're going to do 3 lift and lowers, both arms. Here we go. Lift, lower, lift, lower. One more. Lift, lower. Now lift, hug that left knee in. Flex the foot. Lift the center of your chest away from your navel. Long spine. Interlace your hands behind your left thigh. Kick, bend. So straighten and bend. 2 more. And last one. And set it down. Hug your right knee into your chest. Give it a hug. Check in with your posture. If in an effort to get that knee in, you rounded, back it off. Even if you can't lift that leg very far off the floor. Okay, so we're thinking of spine today. Press down through your left foot. Root it down as that right knee comes in towards the chest. Now, if possible, we're going to externally rotate that right knee, meaning it rolls out to the side. And I'm going to place my right ankle right above my left knee here. Now, for some of you, whatever reason, if you've got hip issues or knee issues, this does not work, then you can cross low at the ankles, okay? So from here, I'm going to keep my foot flexed so I don't round or collapse into my outer ankle here. So keep it nice and straight, sit up nice and tall. You're probably noticing the more length you create in your spine here, the more you might be feeling a sensation in your outer right hip. And that is where we are trying to target, through the outer hip, through the glute muscles. So sit up nice and tall. Again, modify if you need to. There should not be pain. Now, there may be a few of you that are watching this video that are more flexible, and you could actually hinge forward. So you could hold on to your chair. And we already talked about the hinging. It isn't rounding. It's hinging forward. Gaze down at your left big toe as you draw your belly back towards the spine. The further we hinge our torso forward, the more you're probably going to feel a deeper sensation in that outer right hip. So be mindful. And then come up and let's release. Hug the left knee in, flexing the foot. So we're already set up. Lift the chest. Place that left ankle right over the right thigh or cross at the ankles. Keep your foot strongly flexed so your ankle doesn't collapse. Sit up nice and tall. Expect that this side is going to feel differently than the first side, because that's just the way we're built. We're always going to have a more dominant side. One side will always be a little tighter than the other side. Sit up nice and tall. Remember, spine. Now, this might be plenty of sensation for you, particularly in the outer left hip. If you feel like you want more, you can hinge forward. Gaze goes down to that right big toe. If there's pain in the knee, you need to come out of this immediately. Take one more breath here. And then come upright and release. So heel toe those feet wide, come up onto the tippy toes, and let's windshield wiper out the legs. Because I'm on a chair that is not upholstered, it's really easy for me to slide. There's pros and cons to that. I can easily do this, but then I could also slide right off my chair. All right, shake that out a little bit. Now we're going to turn to our right. So we're going to turn off to the right. You might feel your left buttocks kind of sliding off the chair a little. That's okay, and it might actually be helpful. I've got only about half my left buttocks still on the chair. I'm holding onto the chair. I'm going to take this left leg, and I'm going to start to slide it back. Now, some of you, this might be it for you. That's as far back as it's comfortable, especially if you've had hip replacement surgery and your doctor recommended that you don't go into a real deep extension. Now for me, I can slide that leg further back. In fact, I could come into this more lunge-like position. You choose what works. But what I want you to notice, if your leg is really far back, if you've allowed your ribs to thrust forward, draw your ribs in or draw that leg in so you can bring your body back a little and maintain natural curves in the spine. So we're going to come back here and pause. So what this helps to stretch is that left groin along the front of the left thigh. Those iliopsoas muscles are the hip flexor muscles. Sit up nice and tall. Think of the spine. Draw the front ribs and lower abdomen in towards the spine. Inhale if you'd like, reach your left arm up. If that's too much, bring your fingertips to the left shoulder instead. Stretch here. You're going to probably feel a greater sensation of stretch. Breathe in here. And if it feels okay for your back today, bend slightly towards the back of your chair. Inhale, come back upright. Exhale, slide bend. Now, if you've got any lower back issues, you might not want to add the bend. 2 more times, bend and straighten, and 1 more time, bend and straighten. Now, if you feel stable on your chair enough to let go, I'm going to reach my right arm up as well. This is called crescent pose or Anjaneyasana in yoga. Breathe in. Exhale, release the hands. Slide that left knee in first and come back to center. Let's go to the second side. Turn to your left. Plant the left foot. Then start to slide that right leg back. Determine how far back is comfortable. If it's all the way back, notice if you've got too deep of an arch here. So draw your ribs in. Lift your sternum up. And pause here. So we're getting this really nice sensation of stretch in that inner right groin along the front of the right thigh. Then reach that right arm up. You might feel a greater degree of stretch here. Inhale here. We're going to bend back. Exhale, very subtle bend to the back. Inhale up. Exhale, easy bend. More time, exhale. Now come up and pause, and if you'd like, reach that left arm up as well. Breathe in. And exhale, release. Slide that right knee in. And come back to center. So each one of us, all of our bodies are built differently, have had different experiences. Some of these exercises, if that feels like it's making the pain, if you have chronic pain or acute in your back, if it seems like it's making it worse, stop doing it. Back off and do something that doesn't hurt the back. Maybe you're just holding that lunge, or maybe one arm is just stretched up, all right? Always listen to your body. Now we're going to take that right leg, and I'm going to bring it off to the side. I want to make sure that my knee is tracking, meaning the center of my kneecap is over the center of my ankle and aligned more or less with my second and third toe. I'm going to hold on to the chair so I feel stable. And then I'm going to bring that left leg out. Now, your posture may not look like this. Yours might be more closer into the body. This is warrior two. Make sure you feel stable on your chair. Note that my right knee is aligned directly over my right ankle. Now, if you feel secure letting go of the chair, reach both arms up. Otherwise, use your left hand and hold on to the chair for stability. Check in. Long spine. Draw those front ribs in. And take a few breaths. And now release your left hand down to that left thigh or the chair, whichever feels best for you. Spin your right palm up. Inhale, take that right arm up and over. So this is a reverse lunge or a reverse warrior or a peaceful warrior. And then come back up, and we're coming right back into warrior two, Virabhadrasana 2. Now release your right hand. It can either hand can be or elbow can be down onto that thigh. Spin your left palm open and then start to reach that left arm either up to the ceiling or over to the right wall, whichever feels best for that shoulder joint. Side angle pose, Parsva Konasana. Now come back to warrior two. One more time. Left hand releases, right palm spins up. Move across the ceiling into peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Release your right forearm down. Spin your left palm up and follow it across the ceiling. Side angle pose. Come back to warrior two. Release the hands. Slide the left leg in. Slide the right leg in. Now to take that on the second side. Hop that left leg out and find your alignment. Hold on to the chair. Move that right leg out. Lengthen up through the spine and reach your arms out to the side. Shoulder height if possible. Warrior two. Steady breath here. Notice if you've lost connection with that breath. Now release your right hand down. Turn your left palm up. Follow it across the ceiling into that reverse warrior or peaceful warrior. Come back to warrior two. Release your left forearm or left hand. Spin your right palm up. Follow across the ceiling into your side angle. Come back to warrior two. One more time. Reverse your warrior. Come back to warrior two. Release that left arm, spin the right palm up. Find your side angle. Come back to warrior two. Bring your hands down, slide that right foot in, slide that left foot in, and shake it out. Now in all of my chair classes, unless I perhaps forget, I'm human, we do blast offs. So most of you are probably very familiar with these. It's where we stand up and almost sit down. And we do it usually around 10 times. You can do it less or more if you would like. The reason for doing this is not because I'm trying to torture you. It's because it helps to strengthen the muscles in the fronts of the legs, the big quadricep muscles, also the hip stabilizer muscles, and the muscles in the glute. All of these muscles work in conjunction. They're muscles of independence, meaning they help us to maintain independence in our lives. So we don't need help off toilets or off low chairs or couches, all right? So we want to strengthen these. Now, if you can't make it all the way, meaning if your family won't lift up off the chair, you can either press down and lift up, press down, lift up, or just try to lift up. Even if your family doesn't actually leave the chair, you can feel these muscles engage, all right? So here we go. Think of long spine. Belly in. I'm going to hinge forward. Remember that word. We're going to hinge forward a little so that the weight comes forward. We're going to blast off and then start to sit back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now my last 5, I'm not going to use my arms. 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Now come up, start to sit down. Remember, belly and think of long spine even here. Lift the chest. Now make sure you know where the chair is as you sit your family back down. Extend your right leg forward. Flex the foot. Bring both hands to your left knee or thigh. Now hinge forward, so it's not around. The chest lifts and we hinge. We look down towards our left big toe. Try not to lock your right knee out as the weight of the torso comes over that leg. So what we're trying to do here is get a nice stretch along the back of the right thigh right now. Now some of you who have a greater degree of flexibility and you don't have any problems with disc issues, particularly in the lumbar spine, could actually come further down. Now I have my blocks here, so I could always come down to blocks or down to the floor. I'm keeping my right foot very active and I'm pressing down through my left foot. Lift your chest, your sternum moves forward like you're trying to move it towards your right big toe. Long spine, then walk your way up. Long spine, we hinge up. Bring that foot in. Left foot extends, or left leg extends, foot is flexed. Hands on right thigh. Hinge forward, gaze down so the back of the neck maintains that elongation. You can bring your hands down lower if you feel like it. All the while I'm stretching the back of the leg, I am trying to maintain some length through my spine, that axial extension. And then as I come up, I'm not rounding up, but instead I'm maintaining the length as I rise up. Bring those legs in. Rotate your wrist a couple times and go the other direction. Bring your hands to that namaste position called Anjali Mudra. Interlace your fingers and then press those palms towards the screen in front of you and come back to that namaste position. Interlace your fingers, press out, and come back. Now this time when you interlace your fingers, try to interlace them the opposite way. Press out, come back. One more time. Press out and come back. Gently shake out those hands. Nice work. We're going to do just a little twist, nothing crazy. Bring your right hand back, find your chair, grab hold of it somewhere. Now roll the right shoulder back. You're already in a little bit of a twist. Take your left hand, hop it across the legs. You're holding on or gently pressing into that outer right knee. Left shoulder back, chest is open and spacious. From your lower belly, just gently start to twist it. in the direction of that right leg. You can use your left hand to gently press into the right leg and use your right leg to gently resist and press back into the hand. Breathe in here and then slowly unwind. Bring that left hand back, grab hold of the chair somewhere, roll the shoulder open. Cross right arm over to left knee and then roll that right shoulder open. Breathe in, find length. Draw your lower belly in, and from your lower belly, a gentle, easy twist to the left. And then slowly release it. Go ahead and scoot back. If you're wanting to use something under your feet, please do so. If you want to take a moment and turn your lights down. So as we rest here, once again, just check in. Roll your shoulders a couple times, relax them. Hands are relaxed on the thighs, or turn the palms up. Rest one hand in the palm of the other, allowing the thumbs to come together in Dhyana Mudra. Think of long spine. So as our eyes naturally close here, lengthen up through the crown of the head. If it bothers you to have your eyes closed, if you suffer from dizziness, vertigo, any other vestibular issues, you can always just softly gaze down. Feel yourself settling here. We began with this breath together, so find it once again, an easy, natural breath in and breath out. Still trying to breathe diaphragmatically. Think of that accordion without pushing it. Yoga is a practice that, when done consciously, decompresses the spine, providing space in our spine, finding freedom. Always listening to our own bodies as we move through our day, whether we're practicing yoga or we're vacuuming or cooking, just noticing. When we practice yoga, hopefully we do it with a greater sense of awareness of our movements. So we can listen to the body and determine if something is causing us a greater degree of pain, or if it helps to lessen the pain we may already be in. It's important that we maintain range of motion throughout our body, especially as we age. Take as much time as you need or want here, turning inwards and listening to the rhythm of our own bodies. Being grateful for what our bodies are capable of doing. If you're ready to move on throughout your day, you can bring your palms together at the heart space in that Namaste position of Anjali Mudra. Feel the thumbs just gently nestle into the center of the chest, the sternum. Feeling this connection between mind and body, breath and spirit. I thank you for joining me today on this journey of the spine. And I wish you a pain-free, wonderful rest of your day. Namaste.